The mystery around the case is only deepening. There are more details now coming in of Kareena Kapoor Khan's statement. Times Now has accessed the statement that Kareena Kapoor Khan has made to the police officials, and she says that she was in the 12th floor apartment. So Kareena Kapoor Khan says that she was in the house at the time of the attack. She said Saif Ali Khan and herself were at the 12th floor. They came down to the 11th floor at night and then saw the aggressive attacker. So Kareena Kapoor Khan has also put out details of what happened. She says that she was in the residence. They were both on the 12th floor and then came down to the 11th floor. Swapnil Kothari, senior lawyer, joining us on the broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Swapnil Kothari, there are a lot of questions that have been raised. First, on his recovery. Of course, there are many who say that because of modern medical equipment, it is fine. He could have been okay. But there is a lot of intrigue also over when the attack took place, how did the attack take place, when Saif Ali Khan was taken to the hospital, who took him, and these questions need to be answered. Despite this intrigue, the police officials have addressed only one press conference. These questions still remain.
Pratibha, good morning. I stay 1.5 kilometers away from Sadhguru Sharan. I am pretty much aware about the precincts and how the the building configuration is, and because some of my friends stay out there, and there is a wall from which one could jump. There are no CCTV cameras from floor 1 to floor 12. Recently, I think on 11th and the 12th floor they've installed the cameras, but on floor 6 there is a camera. That is the reason why you saw the footage of that man with the backpack going up with his face covered and then with his backpack coming down without the face covered. Now, obviously, that is a complete hogwash. It's a complete cover-up. If he was the attacker and he stabbed Saif Ali Khan 6 times, he should have had some blood stains on his body. They were completely missing. Secondly, the most important part is that he knew the configuration of the building. That means he was a robber. He was trying to burgle something, not essentially at Saif Ali Khan's house, but possibly somewhere. In the whole building where he could get a chance. And robberies do happen in Bandra. It's a very posh area, and recently a robbery took place just opposite our building. So it does happen once in a while, and it's not that frequent. So people are pretty, relaxed out here, and they don't have this kind of a fear that somebody is going to rob them. And pretty much there is decent security. Now, Sadhguru Sharan has beefed up its security since this incident has happened, and quite a few buildings in and around have also tried to tighten it up a little bit. Now, coming back to the intrigue and the mystery, from what I understand is, from what I know is for pretty much sure that the people who escorted Saif was, Taimur was along with Saif, and there was a 40 to 50-year-old gentleman. Whether he was a caretaker or a friend, I don't know. So that is the reason why, if questions were raised as to where Ibrahim was there, he was not there with the father. Ibrahim was not the person who took the father to the hospital. It was a caretaker who did. And Bebo was there about 45 minutes prior to the incident that had happened. And, whether she was there on the 11th floor, the 12th floor, etc., that one is not absolutely sure about it. But one thing I can absolutely tell you for certain, that when, as a lawyer, you look at the theories that have been peddled out by the police and by the investigating authorities, they do not add up at all. They do not match. There was a recent thought that, rather a recent news that had come out that the third part of the stabbing knife was found at some Bandra Talab. I'll tell you something, Bandra Talab is like a proper Talab, and people do walk outside, and it's a proper pathway for people to walk, and I don't see why in blazes would someone try to go outside of that Talab and try to see कि वहाँ पे कोई proof पड़ा है कि नहीं.
Yeah.
So, or somebody saying that मैं accidentally चल रहा था और मुझे वो दिख गया. That is all absolutely nonsense, Pratibha, let me tell you that. And most importantly, where people are raising issues about the fact that, how did he have such a speedy recovery? Does he have that kind of a regenerative capacity to come out of this? Now, yesterday I was on another channel. Dr. Randeep Guleria is one of the top doctors.
Yes.
And he said that it all depends, as you saw the doctor's view, that as to where that instrument had gone, and exactly whether it could impair the limb. आप कभी-कभी देखते हो कि 4th floor से कोई बच्चा गिरता है, कोई गिरता है, तो उसकी या तो हड्डी टूटती है, मर जाता है. But some people just walk up and get away.
Yeah.
So whether you call it a providential escape, whether you call how you fell, what your body underwent, etc. So in this, if your knife has gone just in your flesh and not gone into any nerve part where your limbs could be impaired. Yes, he did mention with a caveat that a person with that kind of an injury, even if it's not impaired your limbs, should not be walking at all. Now, today's modern day.
There are concerns about that as well. But the truth is that there are so many people who are speaking about it, asking about this recovery, because the sequence of what exactly happened has not been established, which is why people are questioning everything that's happening. You spoke about your perspective as a resident from the same area as well as a senior advocate. I also want to get in a perspective from the police officials as well. Former IPS officer Nirmal Kaur is also on the broadcast with us. Ms. Nirmal Kaur, there are a lot of questions being raised around what happened and questions being raised on the Mumbai police as well. I know the investigations are in the preliminary stage, but because there are so many unanswered questions, because we're seeing so many versions, is it imperative for the police officials to come out on record and say this is what we know so far? Because the questions are being raised are from what exactly happened to is this even the attacker who has been arrested?
We only know what has been put out in the media. And the media is really, what is reported, the media has many, many discrepancies. It, as the co-panelist said, it doesn't add up. Certainly it doesn't add up. There are so many discrepancies. And so much to be, so many loose ends hanging there. Who's there, who's what. I mean, so many versions are not matching. Somebody is saying something, somebody is saying something. But it's all media reports. The police is not obliged to tell the media, but certainly they will have to present their case in the court. So that will be very truthful. They'll have to say whatever they have to say in the court. So if one followed the version, the case diaries or the FIR or whatever has been forwarded to the court, that will say exactly the official version of what happened. The rest is, I think, maybe it could be media speculation, it could be people speaking and the like, could be anything. But the media trial certainly is going on, and there are things that don't add up in this trial. So maybe we should access the court, the FIR, or whatever has been submitted to the court so far, to get exactly what the official side of police story is. Because I don't think police has held any briefings or anyone has held any briefings.
Okay, all right, Sabril, I know you want to say a few words, but before that, we just want to play out, because remember the doctors had also addressed the media and they had spoken about how Saif Ali Khan had walked into the hospital like a lion with his son Taimur. That's the version of the doctors. But now details have come in that it was not actually Taimur but a friend of Saif Ali Khan who had taken him to the hospital, and he was admitted at 4:11 a.m. Our colleague Rakesh Trivedi spoke to the man who was with Saif Ali Khan and he didn't want to reveal too many details, adding to this entire mystery. Listen into what he said.
Am I speaking to Mr. Afsar Zaidi?
Who is this, please?
Yeah, I'm Rakesh Trivedi from Times Now Bharat.
Sir, you should actually message. I got really worried. You've been calling me incessantly.
No, sir. This is just the first call that I called. I had some queries regarding the hospital visit. I just want to confirm, is that you who had taken Saif in the auto?
No, sir. It wasn't me.
But you were there in the hospital as per the medical report?
Sir, I'm not in a position to say anything. I respect you calling me, but you respect me saying I don't want to speak.
Okay, but sir, is this possible that I can send you an email or message with few questions which you can revert, sir?
No, sir. The family and their team will connect.
But sir, सवाल ये है कि आप वहाँ कैसे पहुँचे, ये सब लोग जानना चाहते हैं, sir.
Thank you very much for your concern and everyone asking. I don't have a response, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now you heard why there are so many questions that still remain. We continue focusing on this. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. We'll have to leave it at that. Swapnil Katari as well as Nirmal Kaur, thank you for joining us on the show with your perspective. With that, we're slipping into a very quick break here. We'll be right back. Do stay with us.